Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. I'm Jurnee Taylor, and here are the top stories we're following for you now at noon. Idalia makes landfall as a dangerous Category 3 hurricane. We'll see the latest from the powerful storm in Florida. Plus, a former Pine Bluff government worker killed. The fight that led to his death in the city's 19th homicide of the year. With new restaurants coming in and low unemployment numbers, we'll see where the industry stands now after a tough few years. More on all of those headlines soon, but first, meteorologist Scott Covert joins us. It is Wednesday, Hump Day, and I am still enjoying these temperatures. I can't stop talking about it.
I've been out in the weather garden for the last hour, just soaking it up. It feels fantastic out there. Now, yeah, it's warm, but the humidity and the lack of it really makes all the difference. Here's where we're at the noon hour. Temperatures right now in the capital city sitting at 89 degrees. Stuttgart still feeling really good in eastern Arkansas, 83 there, 85 Searcy, 86 right now in Hot Springs. As for our satellite and radar, most of us enjoying some beautiful blue skies. We have noted a few clouds in the southern third of Arkansas. Those clouds likely clearing out just in time for that blue supermoon later this evening. I'll have more on that in a bit. In the meantime, today's forecast calls for a high of 92 degrees, a refreshing breeze out of the northeast, 5 to 15 miles per hour. It'll be nice for the next couple of days. In fact, I think tomorrow may very well be the nicest day of the week. And then we turn our attention to a warm-up, and not just a warm-up, but one that's accompanied by, you guessed it, more humidity. We'll take a look at that, how warm it's expected to be in your holiday weekend forecast, as well as a preview of some low-end rain chances for some. Details in your 7-day forecast coming right up.
All right, thank you, Scott. Hurricane Idalia crashed ashore this morning in a low-populated area along Florida's Big Bend region, officially categorized as a dangerous Category 3 hurricane. The storm is packing winds up to 120 miles per hour. Christian Benavidez has the latest from Crystal River, Florida.
So far it's holding, but the water just keeps coming.
Idalia's powerful and in some places record-breaking storm surge is submerging parts of Florida's Gulf Coast.
The whole front building at the faraway end where the swings were just came apart.
Homes and streets in Cedar Key are now underwater from a surge forecasters say could hit 16 feet high. At least 230,000 homes lost power.
Our power crews have already restored over 100,000 accounts overnight in the last 8 hours.
Tampa was spared a direct hit, but is feeling the impact. Water is spilling over the city's causeway, and there's also significant flooding on the streets of St. Petersburg. Here in Crystal River, we've been experiencing bands of rain and fierce wind as the storm moves through. Now everyone is watching the water and how high it will go.
Unfortunately, we've not seen the worst of what the storm's impacts are going to be for Citrus County.
Even though Idalia is now moving over land, forecasters warn the storm is still a major threat.
We're going to see, not just a storm surge, but potential for, damaging winds extending well inland all the way across portions of North Florida into southern Georgia.
Idalia has gained speed and is expected to be in Georgia and South Carolina before day's end. Christian Benavidez, CBS News, Crystal River, Florida.
In a THB 11 update, authorities say the former head of the Pine Bluff Urban Renewal Agency, Maurice Taggart, is dead after a fight with his son over a handgun. Police report that 26-year-old Justice Taggart pulled the trigger during the argument. Details are still coming in, but we do know it happened on Hillcroft Street. Police say Justice Taggart also suffered a gunshot wound and is now recovering at a hospital. Maurice Taggart was 43 years old. He resigned from the Urban Renewal Agency in 2021. We'll bring you the latest on air and online as we learn more. Little Rock police are investigating a shooting that left one man dead. Officers responding to a call late last night arrived at 7101 North Chico Road to find an unresponsive man who had apparently suffered from a gunshot wound. They say the man later died at the scene. We are working to find out more on what happened and whether police have a suspect or suspects. And an update on the story we shared last week. North Little Rock Police has released the name of the man involved in a deadly standoff. Police say 41-year-old Nathaniel Evans barricaded in a North Little Rock post office on Main Street Friday morning. Evans was carrying a handgun at the time. The people and workers were able to evacuate the building. Officers were then able to enter the building and confront Evans. Shots were then fired, resulting in his death. However, police say the investigation is still ongoing. And another THV 11 update this afternoon. After more than a year on the run, an escaped Arkansas inmate charged with rape has now been caught. Samuel Hartman was caught by U.S. Marshals and local police in Lewisburg, West Virginia. Hartman escaped from the East Arkansas Regional Unit in Lee County last August while serving a life sentence for rape. Hartman's wife, along with his mother and his mother's boyfriend, were also arrested. This week, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders declared it Purple Ribbon Week, dedicated to raise awareness for opioid addiction and recovery. Sanders acknowledging the work that needs to be done for opioid addiction and recovery efforts. Justin Buck and the Wolf Street Foundation is one of those organizations trying to raise awareness and bring resources to people.
1 out of every 3 Arkansans is affected by addiction in some way, so this problem really does touch everybody. We do better when we're in community than when we're isolated from one another.
Several organizations and businesses are hoping to stop the stigma. Purple Cow is donating to the Hope Movement Coalition. Bridge the Gap will honor those that have lost their lives to addiction use disorder. Happening tonight, the public has one more chance to hear about the proposed Little Rock sales tax. Mayor Frank Scott Jr. is pushing for the increase. He recently announced the reworking of the funding in the proposal, taking funds from Parks and Recreation with a portion going towards public safety and some to public infrastructure. There has been hesitation from the Little Rock City Board to put this tax on the November ballot, and the Little Rock director said at past meeting it's too early to make that decision. Mayor Frank Scott Jr. hopes to learn more from these public meetings.
We still want to take time to listen, and so each meeting we learn more.
That just shows you that people are really concerned and they have questions and they want them asked. I think it's premature to come to some conclusions after one meeting in a ward or 2 meetings in a ward.
The board members are set to meet with the mayor and city attorney Friday morning at 8:30. It will be the final day to decide if they will vote on the sales tax proposal to be on the November ballot. Tonight's final public meeting will be at Christ Little Rock Church on Hughes Street at 6 p.m. Manufacturing giant 3M is set to make a big payout to settle legal claims over one of its products. Some military veterans claim the company's combat earplugs caused hearing loss, prompting a $6 billion settlement. 3M released a statement saying the settlement is not an admission of liability and that the products are safe and effective when used properly. Employment at bars and restaurants is bouncing back in Arkansas even higher than before the pandemic. Along with that industry success comes new places for Arkansans to enjoy. THV 11's Sarah Hobakowitz shows us the start of a new era for Central Arkansas restaurants.
This has really become somewhat of a food town over the last couple years.
If there's any food news in Central Arkansas, Mighty Rib blogger Kevin Shalin has probably posted about it. The good times and the tough ones.
When you think about COVID and then the tornado that affected so many businesses, that even though times are better, there's still this cautiousness that so many of these restaurateurs are dealing with right now.
But with that in mind, Shalin says there's still a lot to celebrate.
Wright's Barbecue is opening up. We got the bagel shop that just opened up a few weeks ago.
So I went to check them out myself. Bagels first.
Right now we're making anywhere from 500 to 800. And we're selling out most of those days.
The bagel shop started on social media, selling mostly outside and through delivery during the pandemic. But now they've opened their very own shop.
It's been a whirlwind. We've had so many people just coming to celebrate what we're doing. At first it was mostly people in the neighborhood, and it's really stretched to people from all over.
And they're excited for new neighbors south of Maine in Little Rock.
We've got El Sur. They've been here for a little over a year now, I believe. We've got Nathan Miller opening Bread, Cheese, Wine.
Just north, Wright's Barbecue is putting on the finishing touches for a new Little Rock location this week.
Little Rock has the best food scene, in my opinion, in the state, and we're just very excited to be a part of it.
They opened 2 other locations during the pandemic, ready to go full steam ahead in 2023.
Not having to worry about the next person getting COVID or getting sick and be able to just worry about loving on the customer and serving the customer.
And getting ready for game day.
I really think is excited about us being here, and I think that it's just going to be, I think it's going to be wild.
Sarah Horbakowitz, THV 11 News.
Well, Wright's Barbecue and the Bagel Shop both say they're already preparing for game day crowds this weekend. But they're not the only businesses. After the break, how retail shops are preparing for Saturday's big game right now. Scott?
Oh, weather outside is perfect. All that food has me thinking about lunch on a patio this afternoon. Looking out across the eastern sky, there are a few clouds popping up. We'll probably see more of those. The question now is, will they clear out in time for tonight's blue supermoon? I'll let you know coming up when THV 11 News and Noon returns.